Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy. And as you can see, we just got a brand new update for 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. So we're jumping in and we're going to take a look at some of the new additions that we got in this update. It's one of the largest updates, if not the largest update we've seen for Global since launch. So first thing we gotta talk about is the fact that Super Awakening is now here. Once you log in, you're gonna see this exclamation point on literally every single character that you have fully awakened, which means you can now actually super awaken them and take them to the next level. However, let me start off by saying this, man. Do not be overwhelmed by this new system and do not feel like you absolutely need to super awaken your box in one day. Okay, focus on the characters that you use the most, focus on the characters you use in PvP, and you will be fine. For everyone, this list of character will look completely different because it really comes down to who you have unlocked, because this is a gacha game, obviously. So for example, somebody like me, I am really unlucky. I still don't have a Red Derriere. Red Derriere is one of the best units in the game, right? She should be on your priority list in terms of a character that you should super awaken right away, because she makes PvE content very easy, and she also makes PvP content fairly easy as well, right? So number one character you should super awaken, possibly Derriere, but for me, I don't have her, so it really comes down to who I have available. Now, for me, this is going to be a bit different than for you. If you're just starting the game and you don't have the KOF collab characters, you can skip over these characters, obviously. But the first character that I am going to super awaken is actually this guy right here, Kyo Kusanagi, right? The reason for that is very simple. I use him on a lot of different teams. I feel like he is the equivalent of Blue King. He offers a lot of diversity and you can build teams around him. So number one character to super awaken for me is actually Kyo. If you want to use a really fun and strong unit, if you have Omega Rugal, he is a very good unit to use, even if you only have him at 1/6. So just keep that in mind. I am going to super awaken him as well. Another character that I am going to super awaken probably later today is actually Athena, because she is going to be a big part of my PvP team moving forward, just because of her unique, which depletes 2 ultimate orbs from everyone on the field whenever you defeat a hero on their side of the field. So basically kill an enemy every turn and they can never ult on you. Very good, unique, one of a kind, and I'm absolutely loving her in PvP right now. So because of that, I am definitely going to super awaken her. Now this one right here is just off preference, and that's actually Mai. Very good character. I absolutely love her. She has a good unique and a very good kit for burst damage, and I feel like her value is gonna go up quite a bit when Droll gets here, because you'll be able to stack resistance buff and then just make good use of her amplify card. But just keep in mind that Goddess Elizabeth is a big part of the meta right now, and her amplify card will actually be nullified by Elizabeth's shield. Even at level 1, you will not be able to break it with like a level 3 Mai AoE. So just keep that in mind. But I am going to super awaken my Mai, because I'll play around that shield. I'll break the shield before I AoE, and I'll be perfectly fine, because at level 3, with a couple buffs on her from Droll or from her ranking up her cards, she can just wipe, seriously, wipe enemy teams. So absolutely love her. Next one is obviously Goddess Elizabeth. Super toxic unit. Very good for just basically making people's life hell in PvP. So I am going to super awaken her. And then obviously we gotta super awaken Lost Vein Meliodas, the strongest ultimate in the game, basically, right? Just a very toxic unit because of how strong he is, and basically every time he's on the field, because of his unique, you have to play around it. So definitely festival units should always be priority, unless you don't care about meta and winning in PvP. I would say festival units like Elizabeth, Lost Vein, and when we get Fest King and Escanor and all that stuff, like, you'll always want to prioritize those guys. Okay, Speaking of Escanor, I am going to Super Awaken both Escanors. Yes, both Escanors. Why? Because I love Escanor. Check the name, Lord Flexinor. Why? Well, realistically, Escanor is very good for a lot of different things like PvP, final boss. I use my Escanor from time to time for Great Demon and stuff. Now, let me say this. You should primarily be focusing on Tower of Trials and PvP for the characters that you Super Awaken. Okay, final boss is also good if you want to make sure you stay in the top 5%, but PvP is the primary reason to Super Awaken your characters. Okay, moving from Escanor, Blue Demon Meliodas. Probably the only Demon Meliodas anybody should be Super Awakening, like at least this early on, until we get like an abundance of Super Awakening coin. Because if you're gonna Super Awaken Rugal, you want to Super Awaken his partner in Blue Demon Meliodas, and obviously you want to Super Awaken the engine, which is Lilia, because she's gonna give them more pierce rate to make it so that those guys slap. And right now, we're kind of in the CC meta where if you go first, there's a higher probability of you winning. However, if you go first and the enemy team is a pierce rate team and they get pretty lucky with pierce rate cards, even if they're like 30-40k CC lower than you and they have these two units, yeah, they can wipe your team, right? So these two units are high priority if you are free to play or if you're lacking cosmetics or dupes or whatever, right? So very, very good units to Super Awaken early on, in my opinion. Next two units I am going to Super Awaken is actually both Kings, Red and Blue King. So Red King to protect myself from pierce rate teams, because pierce rate teams are always a problem. Even if Goddess Elizabeth is on the field, you just throw up a corrosion to break that shield, and then you just start cleaving the entire team at once. Okay, so Red King and Blue King. Blue King is always a target to kill, right? And he often dies so fast that he seems like a useless unit sometimes. But you should always keep in mind that when a unit is very powerful and you have the opportunity to kill them, you should kill them. And that's what Blue King is. He's a very dangerous unit if left alive. So if you go into a PvP match and you say, oh, I killed this unit so fast, why are people recommending that I rank him up or that I Super Awaken him? The reason you're killing him so fast is because if you leave him alive, he's going to just keep healing the team. He's going to petrify you, and then his ultimate is actually one of the hardest hitting ultimates in the game, as long as there's not an Elizabeth shield up. So very, very good unit still to this day, even though people like myself, when I see him, I kill him on like turn 2 or turn 1 if I can, but I'm just doing that out of fear of like how much utility he offers the enemy team. Moving on, the next unit that I'm definitely going to Super Awaken, probably both of them today actually, is Green Gother. If you have him, definitely Super Awaken him. Obviously the unique and the rank up is just top tier, right? His first card is actually pretty good for taking away people's ult gauge. And then Red Gother, same as Green Gother, rank up, passive, attack seal is pretty decent too, right? So definitely those two units I'm gonna rank up. Awaken, Super Awaken, that is, later today. I love Arthur, so even though Mono Red is pretty dead, I'm probably gonna Super Awaken Arthur at some point. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a today thing or a later this week type of thing, but I'm definitely gonna Super Awaken him. I like Blue Arthur as well. He's a crit machine, so you can probably like turn 1 if you get like a rank up and you're running him with like Green Gother or something. You can just rank him up and turn 1 clap like a red unit. So I like Blue Arthur, so I might Super Awaken him. He's not a bad unit, right? And if you like burst teams, like if you like teams that don't rely on ultimates to win, I would definitely recommend that you Super Awaken Dead Pierce, because Dead Pierce is actually low-key fire from the back. And once we get Ludociel in the game, having Ludociel on the front line to lower people's defense related stats by 40%, and then having this guy in the back taking away their crit defense and their crit resistance, you can just one turn units even on like level 1 cards. So prepping your Dead Pierce for the eventuality of Ludociel being released is actually not a bad idea. Moving on, one of my favorite units in the game, That's actually King Zeldris, the future Demon King. Okay, love this guy. He offers so much utility. He's one of the few units in the game that I have all cosmetics maxed out for. Him and Lost Vein, and I'm working on Goddess Lays. I use him so much that it goes without saying that I'm definitely gonna Super Awaken him. I'm just gonna Super Awaken Blue Zeldris as well, but I'm actually gonna wait until Ludosio gets released, because then I can run Ludo, Dead Pierce, and him with Green Gother, and then we can just get some nice turn 1 crits and just kill some Lost Veins or some Elizabeths or what have you. But I do think Red Zeldris gets priority because of the drain, the ability to remove any debuffs you want on any turn. It's beautiful. So like if they put up like a attack seal, or if they put on like a drain on you from Gother, which I guess if you move a card you'll lose gauge anyways, but whatever, it's fine. I do love my Zeldris, so definitely gotta Super Awaken him. Next unit that I'm gonna Super Awaken, even though I don't show him that much love as of right now, but more love will be shown to him, is actually my guy Monspeedo. Okay, Monspeed. Because of the fact that I'm gonna Super Awaken my Kyo, it goes without saying that we should Super Awaken his best friend. Because this guy right here with Kyo together, man, you can get some nasty turn 1 damage, because the ignites just allow him to do an insane amount of damage. But if you don't have Kyo, you should never build this guy. Without Kyo, he's useless, because you actually have to try an ult before you can actually do any real damage with his cards. But if you have Kyo and you're going to Super Awaken Kyo, definitely build Monspeed. You'll see some amazing things from him. I'm not sure if I'm going to touch Melascula for now. Same for Ballin. I think I'm going to skip over them for now. But I'm definitely going to Super Awaken the God, Esta Rosa. Okay, gotta Super Awaken the counter god. He's so good for PvP. He's good for some like final bosses. He's also really good for Tower of Trials, which is extremely difficult, and we're gonna do that later today, so look out for that. Might even live stream it when I get off from work, so look out for a stream, guys. We'll see what happens. Moving on, Merlin. If you're a super whale, you're probably gonna Super Awaken everyone anyways, because it's just built for you. So you can go ahead and you can Super Awaken your Blue Merlin, because she's gonna give you the best stat as an association for all of your Escanor or your Blue Demon Meliodas needs. But for the casual players, or for people like myself, Green Merlin from the back, if you're out rushing, really good, still good. So you should definitely do that. Association, also really good. But Red Merlin gives more stats than Green Merlin. So if you're gonna build an association that is not Blue Merlin, I would say go for Red Merlin. She's also a pretty good DPSing unit, so I would definitely say go ahead and Super Awaken her. The freeze is really nice. When we get Blue Jericho, is it the Blue Jericho? The Freeze Jericho. When we get the Freeze Jericho, you can be a toxic person and run 3 freeze units and just completely ruin people's lives. So yeah, I definitely like my Red Merlin, and she has use for like final bosses and stuff. So definitely gonna Super Awaken both of these Merlins. The blue one I'll leave for last. Green Matrona Diane is another one that I'm gonna Super Awaken, just because if I'm gonna Super Awaken King, I need to Super Awaken his association as well. And since I'm Super Awakening 2 versions of King, red and blue, I'm definitely gonna Super Awaken. Where is my my lovely Green Matrona Diane? This one. This is the best Matrona Diane for actual PvP gameplay. But if you're gonna Super Awaken someone for association, the blue Matrona Diane will give you the best stats. But this one, if you actually just wanna use the unit in PvP and have an association, this is the best one to 6-6. So I'm gonna 6-6 this one and Super Awaken her. So if I want to, I can run like a stance team. If there's a stance rule in Elite PvP or what have you, I can put her with like Esta Rosa, maybe Red Gill Thunder, and just be super toxic and just put up stances and just troll people all day long. Really good unit. I like her. We already talked about Derriere. I don't think I'm gonna Super Awaken Green Derry, because she doesn't hit as hard for my liking, and I feel like I could live without Green Derry for now anyways. Eventually I'll Super Awaken my entire box, but yeah, I think I'll skip over that. The 2 units that I do want to put in here as asterisks that you should probably Super Awaken, even though you're probably never gonna use them in PvP or for final bosses, is actually Counter Melee, Green Counter Melee, and blue SR melee. They're kind of like but the reason why you want to super awaken them is because they are association characters for pretty much every unit in the game. And if you're like me and you summon for collab units, what you're gonna notice in like every collab, there's at least 1 or 2 characters that get extra attack stats from the melees. So like if I go to click on this guy and I go to association, you'll see that both green and blue melee actually give him stats, right? And if I go to I believe, who was it? I think it was Aaron. Was it Aaron from the last collab that actually got stats from melee? Yeah, see? So this is a very common practice that they do. They actually make it so that the Meliodas, the base Meliodas, not the demons, right? Just the base ones actually give extra stats to collab units. So if you see yourself summoning for a lot of collab units, or if you have a lot of collab units, these units are actually good for association. And the last one I want to talk about is actually Green Giant. Yeah, and she's still a pretty good unit, but for Guild Boss, she's actually a really good unit for the Giant team with Matrona and who's the other unit? Marmus and I believe Goddess Elizabeth. That's the team, right? So if you want to score sick amount of points, like I believe 7,000-8,000 points in Guild Boss, you might want to super awaken this. Yeah, mine is not 6/6 yet, but I'll get there eventually, right? She's 4 out of 6. I need to stop slacking. But yeah, that's basically it for the characters that I'm gonna super awaken right away. I would have put my Mikasa on this list, but I missed out on buying her cosmetics. As you can see, I'm missing a bunch of cosmetics for Mikasa, so I feel like those extra cosmetics that I'm missing is probably not worth it to super awaken her, even though she's a pretty good character still. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe if those ever come back, I'll pick them up. But yeah, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know who you are going to super awaken or who you've already super awakened. This is my list. It doesn't have to be the same for you because you can play the game your way. I'll play the game my way, and I'll see you in PvP. I'm gone. Peace.